So the knob for the lever itself is held on pretty good with some Loctite. I've already taken mine off. I just used a big set of pliers for that, and I just gripped it. You know, I'm not so worried about it getting messed up because of the, I'm not going to be using it again. So that'll come off. And again, this is a 10 1.5 pitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean those up, head up with like a wire brush if I have one. No, I'm just going to throw a cap down real quick and clean those up. So I have a 10 1.5 die here. I'm just going to clean those threads up real quick with this. I didn't have a wire brush. That would have been just as easy. Alright, let me get the adapter. So remember, this has an adapter that's going to go into the bottom of the joystick. Go this way here. Make sure that's going to go all the way down. Alright, so that's going to seat good. Let me spin this on it and see what kind of alignment I get. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll all just line up, but doubtful. Alright, so I'm about 1/4 of an inch off, but I can probably just tighten that down, let some Loctite sit on there, and it'll tighten itself up pretty good. So that's where it's going to sit. And as you can see, that adds quite a bit of height for the lever, which is something that I really like about it, because as you're sitting here controlling, you're no longer reaching down here, and you're actually just kind of resting up here for your hydraulics. It's actually nice. And then when you want to use the grapple, you're just going to grip it. Obviously, I'd be using my other hand, but anyways, that's the principle behind it all. We'll get this in here. We'll probably have to run it under the floorboard. We have to take that floorboard off. I'm going to skip showing you how to do that. There's plenty of videos out on YouTube on how to get that floorboard off. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take the side of the tractor off and of the hood off and pick it back up from there. Alright, so I got the floorboard off. So I'm starting to work on the lever. Took that back off because I test fitted it already. And I think the easiest thing is going to be to take this off. I don't want to cut this if I don't have to, just because you got a lot of reinforced extra plastic and stuff around here. If I have to cut it, I have to cut it. So my plan is to hopefully get these wires through without cutting it. You know what, now that I look at it, I don't think I'm going to be able to with that fuse being there. There's one way to find out. In fact, I don't think I'm going to be using this fuse anyways. I don't think this is going to reach the front of the tractor. So I'm going to have to cut it anyways. And it might be a good time now. Let me see if I can get this part through the top. What I might do is just, if I can't get this on this way, is I'll go get a spanner wrench and use it to open it up some. Let me do that. Let me get some pliers. Some needle nose in here. See if I can open it up enough. And I don't think this will work either. It's just brute strength pretty wide. I don't think I'm going to be using that anyways. And if I do use it, I'll just resolder it. So I'm just going to cut it off. Not that worried about that. Alright, that's it. So that's back on. Now it's just going to be a matter of stretching this back for this square. Yeah. Alright, so you know what? I'm going to have to put this on. That's going to be a pain. Alright, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get some Loctite on that. This one, this first. Alright, this step here, got that through. I'm going to blue Loctite the adapter into the knob. I'm running into a problem where this is getting clocked like this. If I use a washer, then it gets clocked like this because it's just literally half a turn or a quarter of a turn before it's tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use blue Loctite in here, and then I'm going to use red Loctite on this. I'm going to clock it where I want it, and then I'm going to let that red Loctite dry. And I'm hoping that that's going to keep it from being clocked wrong. And if it becomes a problem, then I'll just have to readdress it if it happens. I don't think that it will with red Loctite on there, but I guess time will tell that story. But we'll just put blue Loctite on this piece here and go from there. Maybe there's a better way to do it. If you guys want to shoot it in the comments, that's fine as well. And maybe the next guy can use it. It'll be too late for me, but the next guy can give it a whirl. But yeah, so this just sits in here, so there's not a set screw where I can set it. It's all twisted. So I guess another thing you could do is get it where you want it, and you could twist this whole lever out. But I think that's just it takes it out of the place where you want it to even be. So like I said, I'm going to use red Loctite on this. I'm going to put this on here first. This is going to be the biggest hassle of the whole thing because I have to spin this boot at the same time I'm spinning the cable. So that's just going to take some time and it's going to look all wonky while I'm doing it. But that's fine. Like I said, I'm going to just... This thing's not going to come off very easily. I'm going to have to wrench this off if I ever need to get it off, but oh well. Alright. So this is going to be the fun part. So I think if I give myself enough cable first, I'll twist it around itself, and then I'm going to untwist it. And I'll just keep doing this. Untwist it. And obviously it's still getting twisted at the bottom here, but that's easier to manage later than it is the part that's coming from the boot. So this is, I guess you could say, one of the cons of this joystick is just the install. You know, those other kits, they just have a button that sits next to here, so they don't have to get into this raveling and stuff. But whatever. I wanted this specific joystick, so that's what I got. Alright, so probably a couple more. Alright, something hit the camera, and I have it in a gimbal right now, so it flung out of the way. I tried to use a washer, and the washer didn't allow it to sit right, so it was facing that way. I tried an O-ring, and the O-ring squished out. So I'm just going to use that red Loctite. I'm going to let it set, and I'm going to go ahead and just tighten this down right here for now, just so that I can keep working, and I don't have to worry about this cable being twisted and messing up the. So I'm gonna do a couple zip ties on it just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere, and I'll put one down here too, where I should probably focus. Put those in the bottom eventually, so I don't, you know how you do this, you can cut yourself on those. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna pull this boot up. Now this needs to go. Man, this isn't very long. If this doesn't reach, it's only 2 wires, and I might have to cut those and lengthen it all. I'm hoping that I don't have to do that, but you know, you never know. So let me get this up out of the way. I'm gonna go on the inside of the fender here. There is a hole, obviously, where the hydraulic lines come through here. So I'm going to try to find that hole. There we go. I think that fit. Alright. Man, that's tight. Where is it? I know it's in here. There it is. Alright, so I can reach in there and get that. You don't have to worry about taking the fender liner out. But it stops right here.